Barcelona's latest financial drama didn't break in a boardroom or a press release. It happened quietly in a director's box in Newcastle, and the ripple effects could determine the club's next transfer window. Imagine Joan Laporta sitting across from Spotify's marketing chief, an off-the-record conversation that reads like a finance meeting with a football heartbeat. Numbers being nudged up, training kit spaces reimagined as new revenue lines, and the possibility of locking in another multi-year relationship that has already changed how football sells culture. Right now the optics are clear. A partnership that began as a bold brand experiment has structurally become part of Barca's economic backbone. But the hidden side is what will shape decisions on the pitch. The existing agreement has been hugely valuable, and the renewal option on the table moves that headline figure toward the Euros 65 million per season mark for the match shirt alone, with additional money possible if training kit branding is expanded. That arithmetic is not trivia. In a market where every million can swing a transfer pursuit, where amortizations and wage rules squeeze clubs, an increase of that size becomes leverage for sporting directors and ammunition for Laporta at the negotiating table with agents. But this story isn't only numbers, it's about timing and perception. Spotify didn't just buy a logo. They've turned the shirt into a cultural billboard, collaborating on on-field kit moments with global artists and giving Barca a worldwide pop cultural shelf life that no ordinary sponsor could match. That creative activation raises Barca's commercial value, and that very success gives the club room to demand stronger terms. The informal meeting in Newcastle is therefore a signal. Both parties know the benefits, and they're treating renewal talks as strategic, not automatic. For fans, the immediate worry is predictable. Will more sponsor cash mean marquee signings next summer, or will it go to servicing long-standing debts and structural costs? The reality sits somewhere in between. Clubs in this position usually balance short-term squad strengthening with long-term financial stability. An extra tranche of predictable sponsorship income can smooth budgets and make the difference between an ambitious loan move and a headline-grabbing permanent signing. Beyond transfers, expanded training kit sponsorship opens new commercial permutations, multiple logo placements, matchday activations, exclusive content deals, and even collaborative artist tie-ins that keep Barca in mainstream conversation beyond football feeds. That's the commercial playbook Spotify has demonstrated since 2022, and it's also why the meeting carried weight. The platform understands how to scale cultural moments into engagement metrics, and Barca needs those metrics to protect brand value while negotiating with other partners. Yet there's negotiation power on both sides. Laporta is negotiating from a position of visible sporting momentum and a global fan base that keeps rising. Spotify is negotiating from a place of creative success, having already transformed the sponsorship into headline moments. The question is whether Barca pushes for a renegotiation above the contractual renewal option or accepts the clause and secures immediate certainty. Either choice has consequences that ripple into transfer strategy, academy investment, and the club's balance sheet narrative. For rival clubs and agents, the stakes are obvious. A confirmed multi-year deal at the elevated rate reshapes market comparisons and sets a new benchmark for elite shirt sponsorships. For supporters, the story is personal. More money doesn't automatically mean trophies, but it buys the club optionality. And because this began as an informal meeting, there's room for theatrics, leaks, denials, and carefully timed announcements that feed media cycles and influence perception. What to watch next is straightforward. Whether a formal renewal is lodged before the next fiscal year, whether training kit rights are rebundled into the main deal, and how Barca communicates the use of the funds. In the short term, expect speculation in transfer corridors. In the medium term, expect creative kit activations tied to artists and campaigns. And in the long term, recognize that sponsorship strategy like this changes how clubs think about brand value itself. In other words, a seemingly behind-the-scenes commercial conversation in Newcastle might be the quiet origin of next summer's headline signing, or the reason the club opts for a different financial path. Either outcome matters. If you follow Barca's business as much as its football, this is a story that will unfold across seasons, not just match days, and the fingerprints of this meeting could be visible on shirts, in financial reports, and in the squad that takes the field. Stay tuned for the formal moves. The handshake in Newcastle may have been discreet, but its impact won't be.